And fans, time to rep your favorite teams. Only on Super Breakfast Sports Show. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. Super Breakfast Sports. Thrilling, captivating, and electrifying.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to this thrilling edition of Super Breakfast Sports with me, Merit J, on your number one family lifestyle talk and urban radio, Super 93.3 FM, Port Harcourt. Today is Thursday, the 18th day of June, August 2022. It's now just 94 days till the start of Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup. And on the show today, we'll be taking a look at the teams who will be flying Africa's flag at the 2022 FIFA World Cup. With less than 100 days to go, PSG defender has now set a semi-final target for Senegal at the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup. Do you think this is possible? And that's the question we're asking this morning. How far can African teams go at the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup? This claim was made by Senegalese defender and PSG defender Abdou Diallo. He said that the Teranga Lions will be looking to break the glass ceiling of the quarterfinals, the furthest point that any African country has attained at the FIFA World Cup, and make it through to the semi-final. So we're taking a break from the club football now to talk about the African and national teams. Do you think that it's possible for an African team to reach the semi-final, or how far do you think African teams can go at the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup? We're speaking to Kelechi Clifford on the Breakfast Sports this morning for this one. You can get in touch with us to let us know what you think by heading on to our Facebook page at Super FMPH to drop your comments starting from now. You can also feel free to text us on WhatsApp and use the phone lines when we throw them open. And always, you can take Super FM with you wherever you go on our mobile app. Head on to your Play Store and search for the Super FM Global app. Download the app and drop your comments there as well. We'll be giving preferences to those comments from our app. So without wasting any more time now, vamos. All right, once again, good morning to you and welcome to Super Breakfast Sports. And now we begin things talking about some football stories that concerns Nigerian teams. Ahead of the 2022 Women's CAF Champions League regional qualifiers, Nigeria's representatives Bayelsa Queens have arrived in Côte d'Ivoire, the venue of the WAFU B Qualification Championships. Bayelsa Queens qualified to represent Nigeria after they emerged winners of the Super 6 playoff in Benin City, Edo State. The team departed Lagos on Tuesday morning for the West African country of Côte d'Ivoire after staying in a closed camp for quite some time. According to reports, they have now safely landed and are ready to compete in the tournament slated to start this weekend. Bayelsa Queens are placed in the group alongside Ghanaian champions Zampem Dakoa Ladies and Atleta FC of Togo. The winner of the competition in Ivory Coast will represent the region in the competition proper in Morocco. Talking about Nigerian teams and continental football, Remo Stars Football Club have expressed readiness to host CAF Confederations Cup games at their stadium in Ikene Remo, Ogun State. The secretary of the club, Michael Onikute, who made this known, said everything has been put in place to ensure the success of Remo Stars during the CAF Confederations Cup. In the Confederations Cup fixtures, Remo Stars, who finished third in last season's Nigeria Professional Football League, have been drawn to face 2010 champions AS FAR of Morocco. Now, still sticking with Nigerian football, professional football league clubs. Ahead of the 2022-2023 Nigerian Professional Football League season, participating clubs have swung into action for reshuffling and player recruitment in their various teams. Former champions Enugu Rangers have set up a committee that will see the recruitment of new players into the team. Despite the strong start to last season, the Flying Antelopes had a season to forget as they finished outside the top four and also crashed out in the early stages of the ITO Federation Cup. In order to avoid a similar recurrence, the management of the team on Wednesday set up a 9-man committee that will be headed by former coach Christian Chukwu and the team's technical advisor Abdul Maikaba, also serving on the committee. The committee is to oversee the recruitment recruitment and the departure of players for the Flying Antelopes. Now to the big one that took place in the earlier hours of this morning. Nigeria's under-20 girls, the Falconets, set a World Cup group stage perfect record for themselves after beating Canada by 3-1 in Alajuela earlier this morning to finish with a perfect 9 points out of 9 points in Group C. Head coach Christopher Danjuma said before the encounter that the girls would seek to win, even as the quarterfinal tickets was already in the bag, in order to sustain their winning mentality following hard-fought victories over France and Korea Republic. And that's exactly what the Falconets did. Africa's best team conceded the first goal of the competition in an accidental manner following poor goalkeeping from Amini Oyono. Of course, Canada's Kala Novak was on hand to convert from that fortuitous event. But however, midfield maestro Esther Oyenezide, whose vicious calling shot earned all 3 points against Korea Republic, put the Super Falcons level from the penalty spot in the 24th minute. She went on to shoot Nigeria ahead also from the penalty spot in the 32nd minute after Semi Awujo's dangerous play against Mercy Idoko. In the second half, the Falconets added pace and brilliant use of space to their game, and it was no surprise when Imuran, again with a visionary cross, set up substitute Choma Olise for Nigeria's third goal. The Imperial campaign in the group stage earns the Falconets a tough quarterfinal date with the Netherlands in Alajuela by 1 a.m. on Monday here in Nigeria. Some other results that took place in the early moments of today from the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. The Netherlands, the Falconets will be facing in the quarterfinals, defeated Ghana by 4-1. This leaves Africa, other representative in the Under-20 Women's World Cup, Ghana, without a single point from the tournament as they crashed out in a disappointing manner. South Korea lost to France by 1-0, and Japan defeated the United States of America by 3-1. And because of those results, the quarterfinals, all is now set for the quarterfinals in the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Costa Rica. Host nation Costa Rica have crashed out of the tournament, also following the likes of powerhouses United States of America and Germany, just a few teams to have exited the tournament. In the quarterfinal, we'll see Spain Under-20 play against Mexico on Saturday, and then Colombia will play against Brazil on Sunday morning, and then Sunday evening, it will be, Sunday evening and sometime 1 a.m. Monday morning, it will be the Falconets of Nigeria versus the Netherlands team, and Japan will take on France in the other quarterfinal. Now to some of the stories from elsewhere around the world of sports. Former assistant coach of the Serbian national team, Aleksandar Bošković, has been appointed as coach of Nigeria's senior national volleyball team. Aleksandar Bošković, who is 45 years old, won a large number of trophies and awards with the senior national team of Serbia and is hoping to bring that experience to Nigeria. The Serbian was in charge of Anorthosis Cyprus from 2016 to 2021 and has also coached a host of other clubs, volleyball clubs across Europe. The Serbian is expected to make the Nigerian senior national team competitive and hopefully compete for titles on the African continent and internationally as well. From the Sports Ministry now, the Ministry of Sports has announced the solution of the Interim Management Committee, the IMC, which was set up on the 4th of June 2022 to take charge of running Nigerian basketball following the country's 2 years withdrawal from international tournaments. This was contained in a press statement signed by Director of Press for the Ministry of Sports, Mohammed Mohammed, and the statement reads in part, and I'd like to quote it now. You may recall that the federal government, in addressing the lingering crisis in the Nigerian Basketball Federation, the NBBF, had calls to set up an Interim Management Committee on the 4th of June 2022 following Nigeria's withdrawal from international competitions for 2 years. The Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development hereby announces the dissolution of the Interim Management Committee for Nigerian basketball with immediate effect. The ministry, in the same connection, wishes to thank the chairman and members of the now defunct committee for their invaluable services to the basketball family and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. News coming in from Tokyo, Japan. According to the Tokyo District Public Prosecutor's Office, Japanese prosecutors have arrested a former member of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics Board Haruyuki Takahashi on Wednesday on suspicion of receiving bribes. Now, local newspaper reported that he was suspected of receiving bribes amounting to hundreds of billions of yen from a clothing clothing retailer Aoki Holdings. Former chairman of Aoki Holdings, Hironori Aoki, and 2 other executives linked to the company were also arrested in connection with the case, according to the prosecutor's office. Now to basketball, where Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James has agreed on a 2-year, $97.1 million contract extension, according to the ESPN. The 37-year-old James had been entering final year of a deal worth $44.5 million. According to reports, James's extension, which includes a 15% trade kicker, makes him the highest earning player in NBA history with $532 million in guaranteed money. The deal includes a player option for the 2024-2025 season. LeBron James, as you already know, has won 4 NBA championships, been named league MVP 4 times, and also been selected in 18 All-Star teams. He also won 2 Olympic gold medals during his glittering career. He averaged 30.3 points, 8.2 rebounds, and 6.2 assists across 56 games played throughout last season. And finally, before we get to our big discussion this morning, some news stories from the world of tennis. Former US Open champion Venus Williams and Dominic Thiem were handed wildcard entries into this year's final Grand Slam tournament, the US Open. This year's tournament will run from the 29th of August to the 11th of September. And both Dominic Thiem and Venus Williams have now been granted wildcard entries into the tournament. Talking about the US Open, Emma Raducanu stopped into the 3rd round of the Cincinnati Open with a 6-love, 6-2 thrashing of Victoria Azarenka on Wednesday, signaling that she will be well prepared for a US Open title defense. For the 2nd straight match, Raducanu delivered a dominating display at the 10th seed, needing just 62 minutes on center court to dismiss a 2-time Australian champion Victoria Azarenka 6-love, 6-2, just a day after defeating Serena Williams 6-4, 6-love. That puts the young Briton in a very good form ahead of her first ever Grand Slam defense at the US Open. And now for our big discussion this morning, let us connect with Kelechi Clifford on the Breakfast World this morning to talk about African teams and their fortunes ahead of the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup, which takes place starting now from the 20th of November. Good morning to you, Kelechi. Welcome to Super Breakfast Sports.
Yeah, good morning to you, Mary J, and thank you for having me on the show.
Now, we're having discussion because Senegal defender Abdou Diallo, who also plays as a centre-back for, European champions PSG, it says Senegal are aiming to do better than any other African nation by reaching the World Cup semi-finals in Qatar. Now, we know that since the history of the tournament, African teams have never gone past the quarterfinals. As a matter of fact, only 3 African teams have made it to the quarterfinals. Cameroon in the 1990 edition of the World Cup, Senegal in 2002, and Ghana in 2010. Kelly, do you think this is possible?
Well, never say never. This is football. Of course, this is a statement coming from the best team in Africa, Senegal. If you look at the number of teams that are going to represent Africa, you have to look at Senegal because of how good they've been so far. They won the African Nations Cup. And so there's always a chance that they could actually surprise everyone. I mean, when you look at the group, the people that have been paired, the African team, Senegal, I think, should make the round of 16. Qatar is there, Netherlands is there, Ecuador. I mean, these are not really strong opponents for Senegal. So I think Diallo knows what he's talking about. Of course, they got Mane, and they've got a couple of players who can actually help them achieve that. And so when there is this belief, especially when you're the champions of Africa, I believe getting past the quarterfinals is not really much of a hurdle for them. And I feel they could actually do that.
Well, for them to do that, they have to go through a group comprising of Qatar, Ecuador, and the Netherlands. Now, let's just look through the group pairings for the African team. Senegal in Group A alongside Qatar, Ecuador, and the Netherlands, which is maybe on paper realistically Senegal can make it out of this group. You take a look at the other African teams in the FIFA World Cup. Tunisia, the next team in Group D, alongside France, Australia, and Denmark, which I think should be a tough one. And then you look at Morocco paired alongside Belgium, Canada, and Croatia. And then Cameroon is paired alongside Switzerland, Serbia, and Brazil. And Ghana, finally, with Portugal, Uruguay, and South Korea. How do you think the teams can fare? Do you think we can have multiple teams from Africa making it to the round of 16, making it out of the group stage first?
Well, I think there's a chance for Senegal, like we just said, and I think Cameroon too. They not really have tough opponents, and of course, Cameroon, they are definitely one of those teams that can actually, do well in the tournament because of their attacking style of play, and they're not a negative team that will sit back and absorb pressure and all of that stuff. So positively, they go forward, and I think we can have at least 2, if not 3. It all depends on how mentally prepared and ready they are for this team. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about 11 against 11. It's not about whether you're from Africa or whether you're from Asia. I think it's all about the belief. I'm really impressed with what Diallo is coming out to say, that they can actually reach the semi-final. And so other African teams should also think that they can actually do the same. And I'm looking at having 2 or 3 African countries in the round of 16. But I don't want to see only Senegal, because on paper, like I said, it's actually possible that Senegal will be in the round of 16. And I'm looking at also Cameroon and maybe, who knows, Tunisia or Morocco. But I have worries for Ghana, even though I know that it's not really much of a difficult group for them. But I wouldn't want to see Ghana in the round of 16 because of the bad blood I have with them.
All right, that rivalry speaking there. But this is not the first time. African teams have been attending the World Cup for a long period of time. And we've seen what I would in term golden teams of African countries, generations of really good players, star players. The Senegal team in 2002 was really star-studded, just like we're having now. We also had a very star-studded Cameroonian team when the likes of Samuel Eto'o, Patrick Mboma were playing in the squad. They never got to the quarterfinal even. And then Ghana went really close in 2010, but of course, no thanks to Luis Suarez, they were denied a place in the semi-final. What is different about the African teams this time around, especially with Senegal, and why can they make it all the way through to the quarterfinal, maybe semi-finals?
Well, I would say the difference is just another generation who's taking part in this contest. I feel like it's still the same old Senegal, the way, they set up their team and all of that stuff. And I just feel like the mentality back then was really stronger compared to now. I mean, the Samuel Eto'o and the rest of them, they had this belief, they had this, this mindset that they could actually do well. If you also see their individually and generally, Cameroon, they were also dominant that period of time. And in comparison to this generation of Cameroon players that are much younger and a bit the same physique and all of that stuff. So I just feel like the only difference is the belief and, the generation of players compared to now. And I feel like they can actually still be as challenging or be competitive or successful as the previous generations. And this is the best time, because some of these players also play for good teams in Europe as well, in comparison to the other generations too. So there is that for that one, there is no difference. So I just feel like it's the mentality and just a different generation of players. And I feel like if the other generation can do it, these ones too can do it.
Exactly what Abdou Diallo thinks. He thinks that because, of course, Senegal had never won the AFCON before 2022, which they won in Cameroon. He said they broke that glass ceiling at the AFCON, and then they can do the same at the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup. Finally, Kelly, do you see any African team making it to the semi-finals this time around?
Well, to the semi-finals, I think Senegal, like I said, they're still the favorites because of how good they've been, the African champions. And so I feel like they should live by example. They shouldn't just dominate in Africa. They should look at the biggest stages of the World Cup. And I see Senegal in the semi-finals. I just hope that they are able to avoid, a very strong team in the round of 16, because of course if they can actually top the group, it's all about maybe getting a draw against Netherlands and doing the job. And I feel like if they get past the round of 16, there is this belief that they can actually make it to the semi-finals. All
right, well, time will tell. Thank you so much, Kelly, for that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Well, Kelechi sounded very positive and optimistic about the fortunes of African teams at the forthcoming 2022 Qatar FIFA World Cup, which will be taking place starting now from 20th of November, no longer 21st, 20th of November, and lasting until the 18th of December. Well, I would like to hear from you. For me personally, I think it's going to take a lot of work, for an African team to make it to the semi-final. I'm not saying African teams do not know how to play good football, but well, it's going to take a lot of work, and that's why we've not been at the semi-final before. I'd like to hear from you now. Let us know what you think. Senegal defender thinks Senegal can go all the way to the semi-finals. Do you think the same? How far do you think the African teams can go at the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup? 0705 079 1021, 0811 743 1021, and on WhatsApp 0905 948 1021. Good morning to you. Welcome to Super Breakfast Sports.
Yes, Mary, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning to you, Christian. Welcome to the show.
Yes, I think what the Senegalese is saying is possible, and the difference and the reason is simple. If you know that the gap is now being bridged between the football in Europe and that of Africa, as a result of our players playing more in Europe now.
Yep.
So there is no fear factor as far as I'm concerned these days. So Ghana nearly did it, if not that Senegal was not able to score that penalty. So it's possible that we can get to the semi-finals. But again, I also want you to give kudos to our under 17 guests.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I keep telling you, my man, that forget what may have happened at AFCON. The Super Falcons can go to the world stage and perform better. Look at the three teams we beat on the top. If we check on record, they have more organization, they have everything better than Nigeria. But Nigeria wiped all of them to emerging winners of that group, under 20. Because if we check what with the France, Canada, South Korea, these are countries that are very good in women football. But the Falconet has done us proud also. So people should also commend them when they have done us proud.
No, you don't have to tell us to commend them. We do that all the time here. Thank you so much,
No,
Christian.
what I'm saying is that you people never believe because they always
For
say
the Falconets,
NFF, this and that.
for the Falconets,
No. What I'm saying is it's okay. Is it not this Falconet that will later become the Falcons?
yeah,
player?
when they become the Super Falcons player, we'll talk about that then. No, no.
I agree with you, but then at least for now, give them thumbs up.
All right, thank you so much, Christian, for that. We've been giving props to the Falconets. I mean, we were here yesterday and we were quite confident. Matter of fact, Sky said that Canada will not score a single goal against the Falconets. So you see, we've been confident about the Falconets. We say things based on the reality presented before us at the time, and we wouldn't get ahead of us and start talking about when the Falconets become Falcons. We don't know what would happen then, but for now, they are the best team at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. The only team to secure 100% record in the group stages. So props to the Falconets. They will be having a tough one. They will be having a tough one in the quarterfinal against Netherlands, but I think they're up for the task as well. Still waiting for your calls before we wrap up on the show. 0705 079 1021, 0811 743 1021. We'll take your messages on WhatsApp or 0905 948 1021, and you can drop your comments on our Facebook page where we're live streaming at Super FM PH as well. You can use a Super FM Global app. Go ahead onto your Play Store and download the Super FM Global to share your thoughts with us. We'll take your comments from there. On WhatsApp, we have this one. It says, good morning. For me, it's going to be very difficult, but I think in football, anything is possible for Senegal to reach the semi-final. F-Man Nuka from Rumukurushi. I rep Chelsea. Thank you so much, F-Man, for that one. Good morning to you. Welcome to Super Breakfast Sports.
Good morning, MJ.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, I just want to, because this thing, I know I've called before now, but I just want to re-emphasize on it again. How many of our Nigerians will go and represent us in this US Open?
What, the US Open tennis?
Yes, tennis. How many Nigerians will go there? I just want to know, because this thing is getting too much, because we don't have any Nigerians that play that particular game. So I don't understand. We have
Nigerians playing tennis, but we don't have anyone ranked highly enough to make it to the US Open, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because at least we're supposed to have people like that will go in there to at least representing us.
Yeah, hopefully that happens soon. Hopefully that happens soon. Thank you so much for your thoughts there. And we have a comment on Facebook from Nwale Befi. He says, no African team has lost an opening match at the World Cup. That's a good statistic. But I see Senegal qualifying from the group and going far. You didn't tell us how far, but we appreciate your thoughts, Noale Befi, on the Breakfast Sports this morning. And before we leave the show this morning, just a little bit of information for Manchester United supporters. According to Bloomberg News, the Bloomberg News reported on Wednesday that the Glazer family would consider selling a minority stake in Manchester United, decided sources familiar with the matter. The family has had some preliminary discussions about the possibility of bringing in a new investor, but are not yet ready to cede control of the English Premier League club, which could be valued at about £5 billion, according to the reports. And, this is a developing story, and it's also developing that British billionaire Sir Jim Ratcliffe is very interested in buying any of those stakes at Manchester United. We'll have a lot of time to talk about this perhaps by 5 p.m. when we return for Sports Traffic. Sky will be here. I will be here to fill you with all the exciting information that you need from the world of sport, especially as it concerns football matters. In the meantime, do well to do business with us on Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt by heading on to our marketing office at number 56 Agri Road by Sokoto Junction here in Port Harcourt. I'm sure we'll have decent offers for you that will really excite you. In the meantime, more programs coming your way on this terrific, thrilling Thursday here on Super 93.3 FM, Nigeria's number one family lifestyle talk and urban radio. So do not switch off. Keep it locked here.
Super FM.
Everyone needs a superhero.
You've heard about it. It's real.
It is.